Jodie, how nice to have you on the show on BBC Radio Newcastle. I think you just come back from Qatar not long ago. Looking at your stories on Instagram. How was it?
I get around. Yeah, I was doing something for the BBC out there actually.
Wow.
And then very, very lucky. We've just come back from our Easter holidays that we had booked back in 2020. So it's been one that we've been waiting for a long time. So yes, we've just come back with a spring in our step with a lovely suntan to this gorgeous weather. I have to say, it's lovely today.
Yeah, and then in a couple of days you'll get the holiday blues because it's England and it'll rain again soon. So that's
rain.
That's life. Jodie, lots of people know you as a very successful model, social media, TV presenter, but obviously a huge amount of people know you for your race driving and your extensive knowledge of cars. And this is some really interesting research that's come out, I think, about the fact that we're just flogging our cars too quickly, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, if you're not within the industry, it can be quite a daunting experience. You can just go down to your local garage and they could say, oh, we'll give you a couple of grand. And you just go, okay, then. And, unless you really spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of research, are you going to get the best price? But, who has that time at the moment? So anyway, this survey was really interesting that actually we could be losing an average of just under £1,000 per person or per car that's sold. So, that was like, I was like blown away by that. So that's why I've teamed with Motorway.co.uk, who have got this amazing online platform and also an app that allows you to sell your car the quickest and the easiest way, but also the most profitable.
That's interesting.
And that's what we all want is, to make the most out of everything that we've, worked hard to buy and then to sell on. And we want to make sure that we get the most amount of money. And they've done that by having they've got over 5,000 verified dealers around the country that basically will bid on your car. So you just know that you're going to get the most amount of money that you should possibly be getting. So it's fantastic. It's a really easy, wonderful platform to use. And we all want to not be cheated at the end of the day. So so it's brilliant.
Yeah, because I feel some people are a bit frightened of these kind of platforms, and this sounds different. But I'm not going to name the name of another platform. But I do remember trying to sell a car of mine recently, and I have to be honest, it was probably only worth about 150 quid. But I knew it was only worth about 150 quid. But they offered me about 45, and I thought that's wrong actually. So I think you have to be careful about what platforms you use, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the one thing that makes Motorway quite different is that they're going to dealers. You're dealing with dealers rather than these online other car buyers or sellers. They will buy the cars themselves as a company. So that is what the real difference is, that you've got over 5,000 verified dealers that you're dealing with, which you're going straight to the source. Which is a relief because it's very easy to get misled. And also if you do it yourself, if you put it on yourself, you'll just have loads of people coming around your house, and we call them tire kickers, and they're massive time wasters and things like that. So it just alleviates all that stress, and just know that you're doing the best that you possibly can for the price of that car.
Do you remember? I'm sure you do. Everybody knows their first car. What was your first car, and what was wrong with it? Because that's usually everybody's got a car that's got like a door falling off or something for the first one.
Yeah, no, I had the best little car, and I still wish I had it. And that's a Volkswagen Polo, and it was just the most lovely little car to learn how to drive in, and to be my first car. And do you know what? I really wish I'd kept hold of it, because it's kind of one of those. It's a proper classic now. And you know what? It was so well made. There was very, very little wrong with it. You know, it was a really good little car.
I had a Volvo. It was like a GTI. It was like a hatchback. It wasn't an old person's car. It was like this GTI. And I remember that the air conditioning was broken, and it used to look like a 1980s video. There was like all this smoke used to come out every time you put anything. It was just unbelievable. You used to have to pull over on the way up the A19 to Newcastle to see the boyfriend. Just couldn't see the road. It was terrible.
Brilliant. Oh, yeah. And when you start messing with proper kind of high performance versions of that car, it gets dangerous.
When did you first fall in love with cars, Jodie? How old were you when you first fell in love with them and realised how well you handled them?
It's quite late in early 20s in my life. I'd been modeling for many, many years. And it wasn't until I did this rally that was across the United States. And I thought, what a wonderful way to see a country. So I just jumped in the back with a load of friends and off we went. And it was just the best trip ever. But I came back to the UK to do an event afterwards. And I met Jeremy Clarkson. And I went, oh, you're the car guy. I said, I've just done this rally. And have you heard of a Koenigsegg? And there was this F50 Ferrari. And I was like still such on a buzz from doing this rally. And he said, oh, my goodness, you like cars? Come on the show. And I was like, I must admit, I'm not a big follower of Top Gear. So I wasn't quite sure what it was asking me to do. So I got a phone call a couple of months later, went down to Dunsfold to the track and went round with the Stig, round a racetrack for the first time in my life, and ended up beating everyone in a star and a reasonably priced car. I think.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. And then I just went, I love this. So I went off and got my racing license, ended up in Italy racing for Maserati for many years, and just completely fell in love with cars and the freedom and just, you know, the adrenaline of racing. They're just wonderful. So they've been such a huge part of my life. And now I've got a car YouTube channel. So
fantastic.
It's going really well. I started it in lockdown and it's called Kidd in a Sweet Shop. And it's about kind of the people around cars. So I'm not reviewing cars because there's so many people out there that do that. But this is about people that own cars, have amazing collections, people that designed them, kind of all different things. I'm going off to meet Nigel Mansell next week because he's selling a couple of his old Formula One race cars. So I'm going to go and sit and talk to him about, you know, the cars and what experiences he had in the cars and how it was to win the championship and do all of these. So it's brilliant. It's so fun, and really getting to meet the people behind this industry. It's great.
And you know what's really lovely, I think, is that you're a lady, and a lot of these channels, because my son's obsessed with cars as a 24-year-old, so he's been obsessed with them for years and years and years, you know. But also his girlfriend, who hasn't even got a driving license, adores Top Gear and loves all these other programs, and would love your channel. So I'm going to tell her about that. But it is about it's the stories behind the cars, isn't it? Because it's not just about the bit of metal; it's the stories behind them.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, I've done a lot of kind of classic cars and kind of like went through all their racing heritage and where they came from and who was the inspiration at the, you know, during the 50s to design them. And so it is much more about the cars, which is lovely. And I'm finding out so much. And it's a lovely kind of wholesome, you know, 10-minute watch, which is the one thing I love about YouTube. You know, it's short, sharp, and to the point, which is great. Not like when you're doing TV and you have to spend 3 days doing one film. You get done much quicker.
Dull, and that's why radio is so much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, Jodie, it's been so nice chatting to you. We'll have a good look at that channel. It sounds amazing. And how do you ever get up to the northeast driving? Because there's some beautiful, beautiful roads up in the northeast and some beautiful areas up there.
Utterly stunning, and a lot of people up there have amazing collections, and the roads are a lot better to do those beautiful kind of driving scenes. So I've been out and about recently quite a lot up there, and I think this summer you might see me if you see a fancy car with a load of cameras. That will be me.
Wow. Oh, well, come in and talk to us at BBC Newcastle. If you're coming up anywhere, like County Durham, the Fells and Blanchland and all around there, they're amazing. Just got to watch out for the sheep.
Yeah, I will. Brilliant. Thank you.
Jodie, thank you so much for chatting to us. Really appreciate your time.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.